Good morning again to everyone. Thank you for making it out. My name is Kirk Wilson. I work with the Instruction and Support Systems Unit at MITS, and we'll give you a little information about MITS as we proceed. In this session, we want to have a look at the main features of OurVLE and the main interface, and we'll also look at the interface of one of the courses. We also want to have a look at how you can utilize OurVLE to communicate with your students, and also how you can share information with them. And if time allows, we look at the assignment, choice, and glossary modules. So those are some of the things that we want to cover. And if you've never seen me before, this is sort of what I look like. My hands are not folded right now. But nonetheless, just sharing some information with you about myself, the unit that I work with, and the contact numbers should you need to contact me. My email address is not here, but it is kirk.wilson@uwimona.edu.jm, and we normally advise, if you have any OurVLE related issues, that you send an email to OurVLE, that's OurVLE support@uwimona.edu.jm. I will provide this information again at the end of the presentation. But it's not all about me. I also have a wonderful team working with as well. So I have these two lovely ladies on my left and my right who work with me as well. Krisan is in the room right now. She's assisting us in this session. So Shane Finn, she's not here right now. She's on break, but she should be rejoining us in time for teaching. Right? So that's the LMS team that we have, and during the semester, if you don't get me, one of these persons will be assisting you, and we also are assisted by a team of interns. I'm going to ask that you have another tab or window open so that when we reach to the practical session, you can follow along and actually do the things that we're saying on the OurVLE platform. I don't think I will need to go through this in too much depth, but just sharing with you some definitions here about educational technology, e-learning, and cognitive load theory. And we're just looking here at different ways in which we present information to students. Normally, we would present text, but we're saying beyond the text, we're looking at enhancing the information by presenting audio, visuals, making the content more interactive. So instead of just telling the students about the different nerves in the body, for them to touch the nerve and hear what nerve it is, for them to be able to connect nerves as it be, and knows that, okay, this will form a proper reaction. And you know, I'm not a medical person, but just to say that there are different ways in which you can present information to students, as well as assess them as well. As I mentioned earlier, I am from the Instruction Support Systems along with Krisan and Sashane, but Instruction Support Systems is a part of MITS, and ISS is broken down into different teams. We are from the Learning Management Systems, and there's also Classroom Technology, which deals with the infrastructure that you see in some of the classrooms, instructional research, design, and support for those persons who may need to use clickers. And we also do research into different educational technologies that are available and that are up and coming, and see how we can implement them here at the University of the West Indies. I can't speak to all of them, but our more recent one, we had implemented we have done ebooks, we have done, forgetting the proper term, where we use Google Glasses to get a guided tour of your environment. There's digital and social media production. They mainly deal with or recording and streaming of events, and they also do work with lecturers as well in recording classes and making them available to students. And there's also the service delivery and project management section as well. So just sharing this with you to put some context to say where we're coming from, and also to bear in mind that we may have working knowledge of the different sections, but we may not be able to. Don't be surprised if you stop and ask us something about a port not working in your building. We wouldn't be able to fully speak to that. That would be more infrastructure section. So we could give you a person to contact there, and or ask you to contact MITS for further information. Now, OurVLE, and I do this for every session, and I'm going to do it here. The pronunciation of OurVLE, it is simply as you're seeing it. It's OurVLE. It's not OurVLE, it's not URVLE. We have everybody, both students and lecturers, calling us and asking us different questions about this platform and the names that they use. We really are confused sometimes, right? Please don't call and tell us that you can't get onto OurVLE. We have a member of staff at MITS whose name is OurVLE. So if you call and tell us that you can't get onto OurVLE, we're going to be having mixed thoughts in our head. But since you've called the LMS section, more than likely we're going to assume that you're talking about OurVLE. And it's the campus's main learning management system. And as you would imagine, it's basically a platform that replicates a traditional classroom setting in an electronic form. So you're able to interact with your students, you're able to see your students, you're able to present resources to them, you're able to get feedback, and you're also able to assess them in different modalities, right? The beauty of using OurVLE is that it is done fully online. It can be used to deliver classes in different modes rather. So we do have persons that use it to supplement their face-to-face classes. We have persons that use it to deliver classes in a fully online mode, and have different combinations of how it is utilized. Well, I do know that the UWI School of Nursing uses it in the different modalities where you do have use it to supplement your face-to-face, and also use it for some of your classes that are done fully online, given that you have students that are spread across the region. There's one correction to this slide. The URL for OurVLE, it has been changed to just include a S after the P. So it's not HTTP, it really should read https://ourvle.mono.uwi.edu. Needless to say, if you don't remember it, once you go to any of the US pages, you should see a link to OurVLE. So some features and advantages of OurVLE. As I said, it's available from anywhere in the world, and once you have a steady and stable connection to the internet, that is very critical, that you need to have a steady and stable connection to the internet. And we tell both lecturers and students, if you're using Wi-Fi as well, you have to ensure that you're close to the Wi-Fi source. As the signal travels, it breaks down as it has to go through different barriers. So if you're in your bedroom and the Wi-Fi is in your living room, how much feet away, the signal is going to be much weaker than if you were at the dining room table or in the living room. But ensure that, and we have had lecturers delivering courses from different parts of the world, from the Caribbean region, Canada, USA, Japan, and I could go on and on and on, right? So if you're here doing your work and you have to go to a conference in the United States, no problem. You can still follow up and see what's happening in your class. If you have to go on break, but there's still papers for you to mark, no problem. You're still able to keep up and mark the papers and submit the grades, right? As we mentioned earlier, you are able to implement deadlines and controls. You know, first time, if you gave an assignment to a student, they would have to come into the department office and hand in the paper, and they get a receipt. Some persons, if the office closes at 4:30, they take the route and they may be bold as to push the paper, the assignment underneath the door. But no more of that with OurVLE. You have to submit. If the assignment is due at 3 p.m. on the 7th of January, once 3 p.m. comes and goes, that's it. 3:05, the system will not take the assignment. The student will have to contact you, the lecturer, to inform you as to what happened, why they were not able to submit their assignment. There are different ways in which you can communicate with your students. You can communicate with your students individually. You can communicate with them as a group. You can also utilize applications such as we're using now, which is a web conferencing tool, which is a new feature of OurVLE. And as you're seeing, the uses of the web conferencing tool is very wide, and we'll have a look at them in a short time. OurVLE is also ready, can be used with your mobile devices. Right now, we advise that you use the Moodle app, and you'll be prompted to enter the OurVLE URL to connect and enter your login information. But there is not an official OurVLE app as it is right now, so you'd have to use either the Moodle app, or you can access it through one of your internet browsers on your phone. Just want to share with you some of the key activity modules on OurVLE. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'll allow you to have a quick read. The main ones that lecturers normally use are the assignment, the forum, the quiz, but others are still there and available for you to utilize. The wiki is actually quite interesting. It actually allows a class to build a web page. Everyone can work on a web page together at different times. It's basically, if any of you have utilized Google Docs, where you create a file in Google Docs and you share it with other persons. So we have not only activity modules, but there are also resource modules. So not only are you going to ask students to do things or assess them on different topics or different units, but you also would have to present them with information before that they would have to either read, research on, and present, that you can now assess them on. Some of the key resource modules on OurVLE are as follows. The main one, of course, being the file. So you can upload a PDF, Microsoft Word file, Excel file, Access file. Basically, any type of file you can upload to the platform. A file could also be a video. You could present a video to students on the proper ways in which to assess a patient, or the proper way to take the history of a patient, and then you present them with a quiz afterwards based on the information that you would have shared with them. The folder basically is a collection of files and can also contain other folders. In a little while, you will see what the labels are. The labels are just as it says, something that is used to say what this particular section is about. Again, I'm not going through everything. I'm just making quick notes of some of them. And you can, of course, place links to different websites within your course container as well. So this is what a snapshot of what the OurVLE main page looks like. There's one main adjustment to this page. We now have OurVLE live support. So when you log on to OurVLE, or even without logging on, once you put in the OurVLE URL, you will see the OurVLE live chat block under somewhere on the right hand side of the page, and essentially someone will be present between working hours to assist you if you're having any problems and you need some real-time assistance. If there is no one present at the moment when you need assistance, you will be prompted to send a message to our ticketing system, and when we do return for the next day of work, someone will be sure to see your message and respond to you. The middle block here where it says course categories, once you log on, it will say my courses, and that list of my courses will be the courses that you are delivering for the current semester, and that will be based on the information that your department would have submitted to SAS or RIS. Just to share with you some tips for structuring your course. Of course, I did not really have to put this here. I'm sure that most of you know this already. But as we mentioned earlier, you want to welcome your students to the course and to the environment that they'll be using. Be clear as to how they will be assessed. Point here about providing a calendar, that would be good, but OurVLE does have a feature where once you set up an activity on it and you create a due date, there's a calendar within each course and you are going to see that date highlighted. So the calendar becomes automatically filled once you put in the course, the due date for particular activities. Some further tips for you. It's always good to provide practice activities so that students can get a feel of how they're expected to use a particular activity and not claim that they weren't aware that they should click submit or that they should have submitted this particular form or click this particular box. And also provide your students with badges. It's not very hard to do. We will touch on that in the afternoon session. All right, so we just want to have a quick look at Blackboard Collaborate. I'm not doing training on Blackboard. For Blackboard Collaborate, as we mentioned, it's a new tool that we have recently integrated into OurVLE, and this has come about after some a project, let me use the word project, that was pushed from the Vice Chancellor about ensuring that all the UWI campuses across the region have a web conferencing tool to utilize. Some lecturers would have already been using Zoom or Skype for their meetings and for other sessions, but now, even if you as a lecturer were to go to the St. Augustine campus or to Open Campus or to Cave Hill, you would find that Blackboard Collaborate is available on their learning platforms. As the statement says, you will see that even though we're spatially separated, you will get the impression that we're all together, all being able to talk, interact, and share information with each other. We're not doing a Blackboard Collaborate training. The training for Blackboard Collaborate is normally 2 hours, but I'm just sharing with you some features of Blackboard Collaborate so that you can bear it in mind if it is that you believe that you need to utilize it in your classes. So you can utilize it to deliver lectures. You can utilize it if you want to do tutorials. We have had instances of lecturers, even within the Faculty of Medical Sciences, who have done exam review sessions. So you do have many uses and applications of using Blackboard Collaborate. All right, so it's time for us to get hands-on and get going with OurVLE. All right, so we're going to move over to OurVLE. Remember the address as we typed earlier, it's https:// OurVLE.mono.uwi.edu. So for this session, what is going to happen is that you're going to have to listen to what I'm saying. At different points, you can switch over and look at the screen. But remember, I asked you to open OurVLE in a new tab or a new window from which you will be working, and I will speak so that you can follow along with my voice. If you're not understanding, you can come back here and look on the screen to see what I am doing. But I just want to ensure that you are able to do something and not just be looking on, okay? But for now, this, as we said earlier, this is what the OurVLE homepage looks like. You have different blocks on the side presenting different information, and we share different information from time to time. The latest news block on the top right, we normally share information that is applicable to both students and staff, mainly students. We also do share some OurVLE tips for staff and students. This link that says Student OurVLE Portal is actually a link to a student portal, a MIT student portal that has active practice activities for the students to utilize. So we have some practice assignments, practice quizzes, and contact information for MITs. There's also information in there for the students as it relates to Blackboard Collaborate. And so you can refer your students to that portal if you need to, and they just simply need to click on it. They will be prompted to enter. They don't need any credentials or any secret key or anything. They just need to follow the instructions and enter. Here's the OurVLE live support that I was making reference to earlier. As you're seeing, it says away because nobody is at the station right now, but you can still leave a message. The block that is OurVLE information students, and the link that says student OurVLE portal. When the student, I'm saying that you can refer the students to this link, or you can enroll in it as well if you wish. If I click on it, I'm going to go directly there. Let me click on it because I already have access to the portal, but this is what it looks like. So I was saying that within it, there's contact information for the students. There's also practice activities for them to utilize of different forms. And there's also information in there for them about using Blackboard Collaborate from the student perspective. So at the very least, you should be seeing this link. So there are different blocks on either side of the page, but within the middle, my courses would show the courses that you have access to, as meaning mainly the courses that you're teaching for the current semester. Some of you should be seeing the container that we're going to utilize for training today, which is OIT 2018. If you're not seeing it, could you scroll down to the bottom of the page where it says search courses and just enter OIT 2018 and then select go. And this is what should be coming up. You should see a prompt. I'm not seeing it, but you're going to see a prompt to enter a password. To enter the password to enter the portal as a lecturer, the password is simply 123. So let's go in. So essentially, this is what one of your courses may look like. So you will have content in the middle. Content meaning different lecture material, different assessment activities, and you may have supplementary blocks on either side of the page, which you can add and remove. You can add and remove at different points in time based on what it is that you wish to do. To add blocks to the course, you would need to turn editing on. So let's turn editing on. turn editing on, you look for the button at the top right of the page. The turn editing on button is here at the top right of the page under your name. Or if you scroll down to the administration block, it is the first item in the course administration block. So you can use either one, they both do the same thing. So once you turn editing on, you would notice that a set of icons appear at the top right of each block and also beside each item in the course. To add another block, you would have to go to add block and add the block that you wish to add to the course. And to remove a block, you simply go to the settings for each block and say delete. Okay. The first thing that we'd like to look at though is how the course is displayed and managed. So let's go to the edit settings. So on the course administration, you can click on edit settings, and that is a third button from the top on the course administration. The course administration panel is on the left hand side of the page. So once you click on edit settings, and I'm going to invite you to click on expand all. If you click on collapse, you will see that the different sections, everything is now sectioned, and you can open the different sections one at a time to enter the information. But I prefer to see everything all at once. So I click on expand all. For your courses, your course full name would have already been entered by the system, as well as the course short name. The information that is up here, you would not really need to adjust, right? The course ID number, that's important. If you go into your actual course, you're not seeing anything here, but if you are in your actual course and you're not seeing anything in the ID number, you need to let us know as soon as possible, because that is one of the ways that we connect the courses to SAS. The course summary is optional, and if you remember what the front page of the course looks like, it is in here that we enter the course summary, and the course summary can also be set to be shown within the course itself. I'm not going to be going through everything. The format, there are 5 different formats that you can utilize to set up how the course would look. The UWI cross-campus course would not apply if your course is not being delivered using our cross-campus Moodle instance. That's a new thing that is in place now. It's still in testing. But the main format that is normally utilized is a topics format or the week format. With the topics format and with the others, the number of sections that you have available are 52, and that is because we have 52 weeks in the year. But within each block, there's no restriction on the amount of content that you can put in your blocks. You can also decide how the hidden sections will be seen, as well as the course layout. So this really just determines how things are managed for the course at an overhead level. The maximum upload size that you're seeing here is per file. So it's not 100 megabytes for the course, but how much that it can be uploaded at any given time. You can enable completion tracking so that students can track to see, and you can see how they're progressing through the course as they go along. We also have group mode. So we have 3 different groups: no groups, separate groups, and visible groups. With separate groups, persons in group A can do work, and persons in group B would not see what is going on in that particular group. For visible groups, it means that persons in group A can see what is happening in group B, but they are not able to interact. And no groups means, as it says, there are no groups. Everyone can interact with each other. This mainly applies to the discussion forum. It can be utilized in other settings, but it also mainly applies to discussion forum. If you need more information about any of the fields that we're talking about, beside each field, there's a little gray box with a question sign inside of it. You can always click on it to get more information about that particular field. And this will apply for basically all of OurVLE. Role renaming. This is not where you would use to add persons to a course. Unfortunately, persons have been trying to use it in that way, but that is not how it is used. It is simply used to, as it says, to rename a role. So if you prefer to use the term facilitator instead of lecturer, you simply type the term that you wish to use. Whatever it is that you want, but you don't have to put in anything. You can actually leave it blank. But if you type in somebody's name here, if you save the changes, when you go back on the course main page, instead of seeing lecturer Chris Angel, lecturer Pauline Anderson, you would now see Elroy, right? So if you do not wish to adjust the terms that are here, please don't input any information into them. And once you've made any changes, you click on Save Changes. Okay, I'm going to leave this. I'm going to put cancel because I didn't really make any changes that needed to be saved. All right, so at this time, if you do not already have editing on, I'm going to ask you to turn editing on. And remember, as we said, you can utilize the button at the top right of the course, or you can go to course administration and click on the first item in that block. Within the block, ensure that you have editing on. Then you're going to click on add an activity or resource. And you're going to scroll down to label. And then add. And within the area that says label text, you're going to enter something, whether your name or a phrase, or it could even be a picture, and something that you want to enter to show that this is your block. Okay, so the blocks that we just gave you, they're your blocks that you're going to utilize. You'll have access to them for some time, so that if you want to come back here and practice, you can always come back here and practice even after the session today. All right, so at this time, I invite you to go ahead and insert a label for your block. Once you've entered the information that you wish to use, remember that you need to scroll down and save changes. All right, so I'm seeing Celicia, I'm seeing Elroy, I'm seeing Stacy, and Christian has a picture up. Go, Christian. All right, so what we're going to do, as you would have seen in the outline, we're going to look at the basic communication tools that we can utilize, and also looking at the assignment, choice, and glossary modules. I'm going to adjust that a little bit, and we're going to do the communication, and then we're going to have a quick look at uploading files and folders. I think that is critical, given that you will need to be sharing information with your students. So the labels you just created, you can utilize them within your own courses, and these could be your topic labels. You can also use the topic labels at the start of each. These are here that you can adjust. If you click on the cog wheel, you can deselect this box and enter the particular section name. So you could say Unit 1, and you can put a summary for Unit 1, that's optional, and then save changes. All right? So I'm saying that you can do that within your course. If you want to do it now, no problem. But I'm just advising you to say that you could do that, and then the labels that you just created, you can now use them within your course to now show the subunits, to say Unit 1.1, the arm, Unit 1.2, diseases of the leg, Unit 1.3, diseases of the eye. So you can now use that label to show the heading for the different sections within your course. That's just to share with you how you can utilize the unit, utilize the labels. In terms of communication, I'm going to ask us to go all the way up to the very top of the course page and click on participants. So on this page, the participants page, the user listing that is here underneath course administration will show me the list of persons within the course, irrespective of their roles. And I can also filter for their roles. But the participants listing is very critical for me because it can show me persons and when they last logged on to the platform, or when they were last active on the platform. So you should all be seeing yourselves, and you're all seeing yourselves within a 5-minute window of operation on the platform. So if a student comes to you, has an assignment to be submitted, says that he went on last night and tried and did not see the assignment, then you know that this is one area that you can go and check to verify. So I could even look for Chrisan Gale. Her first name starts with C, last name G, to confirm whether or not she actually did log on at the time that she said she did. Okay? I'm going to put it back to all. If I put the user listing to user details, so you will also see the time that the person last accessed the platform. If I switch the user listing to say user detail. So that is the other way in which you can get that information about the student. You can also get the information by group. You can also get information by role as well. On this page, I can also communicate with a particular individual or with a group of persons. So if I want to send a message to Stacy alone, and I don't wish for anybody else in the course to see it, whether it be another student or another staff, I simply click on the checkbox beside Stacy's name, and I scroll down to the bottom of the page, and I say with selected users, send a message. So let me repeat that again. If you wish to send a message to a particular user and you do not wish for anyone else in the course to see that message, you simply identify that person. If you're seeing the person on the listing here, then no problem. If you're not seeing the person, you can filter for them using the filter here. You will see the person whether they logged on the course yesterday or 2 weeks ago or 2 years ago. You will still see the person showing up. It's just that I mentioned the time thing earlier so that you can use it if a student comes to you and is putting a story to you about their last logon. And if it's a story that you're not able to verify and you need further assistance, you can always send us a mail to OurVLE support at uamono.edu.jm to get further assistance in checking the logs. But as we're back at messaging, we want to send a message to Stacy. So I'm going to ask you to identify someone that you want to send a message to who is actually in the training room right now. So you click on the checkbox to the left of Stacy's name, you scroll down, and you say with selected users, send a message. This area comes up that you can now type your message or edit it. If you already had the message typed somewhere else, you can copy and paste it in here. So it tells you, you can click on preview and it says currently selected users. If you change your mind and you don't want to send a message to the person again, you can click remove. I am okay, so I'm going to click on preview. So this is a message. I can either go back and update it or I can now send the message. The message should come in as a pop-up on the person's OurVLE page. A copy of it should also go to their email inbox that is associated with the OurVLE profile. So you see, I refresh my page and my message popped up from Stacy. And so you can actually have a little conversation going on with the person. So you can actually have a conversation going on with the person using this method. The other thing that we can do from the participants to this is to send a message to a group of persons. So we just sent a message to a particular individual, but you can also send a message to a group of persons. We can do that in a number of ways. So you can just select from the listing that you're seeing the persons that you want to send the message to. Or if you already had a group that was created within the course, you should see that group name showing up here. Let me see if there are any persons in this group. No, nobody's in that group. But let us imagine if we had persons in that group, we could actually send a message to persons within that group alone, right? But these groups seem to be empty at the moment, so it would not be feasible for us to send a message. But you can send a message to multiple individuals. So I can select all of you. And so again, we scroll down and we say with selected users, send a message. type the message and we again go down to preview. Again, we're seeing the list of persons. If you wish to remove a particular person, we can remove them, but I am okay with the listing that is here. So I'm going to say preview and then say send message. So that's the messaging feature. We also have the chat module. So OurVLE does have a chat module. It's not used a lot, but we advise that if you have a large class, that you try to use it, not to use it for large classes. When I say, some persons might ask what is large, having a chat room with over 30 persons, we might consider that to be large. So remember, we have the discussion forums and you also have Blackboard Collaborate that can accommodate up to 500 persons at one time. So what we want to look at, since time is going a bit, we're going to look at the discussion forum. And I know that that is utilized quite a bit. If you don't have editing on, we're going to ask that you turn editing on. Again, it's at the top right, or the first item under the course administration. So within your block, you're going to click on add an activity or resource, and then select forum, and then add. The discussion forum is what we refer to as one of our asynchronous means of communication. The other forum would be the synchronous, where the persons would have to be online at the same time communicating. So it's almost real time. So that would be like the chat room. The messaging feature is a bit of both. I mean, you don't have to be there. The other person doesn't have to know when you're reading the message. But for the communication to be effective, you both would have to be online at the same time. So that would be the synchronous. But the forum is the asynchronous form of communication, where the other person or persons are not necessarily online at the same time. Here you enter the description, which would be an introduction to what the forum is about. The discussions can be initiated by the students or by you, or you can say that there's just one discussion taking place. We will show you, as a matter of fact, very shortly, the different forum types that exist. We're just going to keep it simple. Right. You can say, I'm going to click on expand all, so I'm seeing all the fields to fill out at one time. Display description on course page, that's optional, you don't have to do it, but if you select it, it will simply show this that you enter, will show on the course main page, so that the students know even before they go into it what is expected of them for the discussion forum. Again, you don't have to do it, it's up to you to decide if you wish to use that feature. The forum type, the one that is normally used, is a standard forum for general use. There are other forum types there. If you want to get more information about them, then you can click on the little gray box and see what's there. The Q&A forum, I believe you have to make a posting to somebody else's, respond to somebody else's post before you are able to make start a new discussion yourself. Each person posts one discussion, is as it says, a single simple discussion we mentioned earlier, right? But as I said, the main one that is normally used is a standard forum for general use. And as we mentioned, you can read this little window here to get more information. All right, so moving along, the maximum attachment size is simply saying that if you allow students to attach files to their posts, what is the size of the file, of each file that you're allowing them to upload to the forum posting. Maximum number of attachments, again, you don't have to select anything here. I don't know why they have 9 here as the default, but it could be 0, it could be 1, it could be 3, but you decide how many files you want students to be able to attach to their forum post. Display word count is as it says. Whether the word count, you may have told them that they are to respond to your forum post in no less than 300 words or no more than 500 words. So this feature would be useful for you when marking the forum posting. Subscription mode. This basically dictates the manner in which persons will see that there is activity going on within the forum via an email of each posting being sent to their email attached to their OurVLE profile. And of course, as a lecturer, you would set how it is managed from this stage. You can also dictate if you're going to score the forum post. And if the forums are going to be graded within a particular range. The section that deals with restrict access, you do not have to make any adjustments there. That only applies if you're trying to make the forum applicable to a particular student or a particular set of students, or if you're trying to make the forum available under a particular set of conditions. So if you do not wish for that to occur, then not only for the forum, but also for other activities on OurVLE, you do not need to do that. The activity completion would only be necessary for you to fill out if participating in this forums or the student being able to check off the forum. It depends on certain conditionalities, and these are some of the conditions that are here that you can adjust and fill out. If you're okay with everything, you can click on Save and Display or Save and Return to Course to see what it looks like. So when the student comes in, they will click on Add a New Discussion Topic to make their first response to the introduction, or you can initiate a new discussion topic yourself as the lecturer, to which the students would reply. Let's put see again, the subscription comes in because it was set to optional. So the student has the ability to decide what's going to happen. If they need to attach files, they can drag and drop files, or they can click here to attach files to it, and the process would be just they were attaching a file to an email, and then they would click Post to Forum. A confirmation message comes up. Also tells me that I have 30 minutes to edit if I want to make any changes, and that's how it would appear. Students can now come in and make posts to this discussion topic that has started by simply clicking on it and clicking on reply. I just want you to just get an idea of how the discussion forum works. All right, so let's go to Stacy's discussion in topic 9 and click on her topic 9 discussion forum. Someone has to initiate a new discussion topic and then we'll come in quickly and make some responses. So we're seeing here that 4 persons have created different discussions, and within each of them we could have had different discussions taking place. Since the time is going, we're going to pause on this, but at least you've gotten an idea of different discussion topics taking place within the one general discussion room, okay, for topic 9. I want to just do the files quickly before we do the assignment. The files is very easy. Again, you need to have editing on. There's a quick, easy way now of literally dragging and dropping the file onto the desktop. The first time method was a longer process, but now this route is actually quicker. If you're using multiple screens or a laptop with one window, you can adjust the size of the window so that you can see the desktop. For argument's sake, let's say you had the file that you want to upload on your desktop, or you had it in your My Documents. You ensure that you can see both the My Documents window and you can see the OurVLE window where you're uploading the file to. We have a test file which I'm going to literally drag and carry over, and as you carry it over, you're seeing the section that says a message that says add files here. Once you see that, you simply release the file and it comes up. In my topic 5, that file that is called test file was not there before. It was there, just dragged and carried it over from my desktop. So it is not deleting it. All it is simply doing is taking a copy of the file and carrying it over to the desktop. So let me do another one again. And this is way easier than the method that we used to use before, but you have to ensure that editing is on. If, for argument's sake, you were doing a statistics course, but let us say you had a folder with some information that you wanted to share, you would not be able to drag and drop the folder. What you would have to do is zip the folder. The folder has to be in the zip format, not the WinRAR. It has to be a zip file, and let us show you what would happen. So we simply drag the zip file and carry it over and release it, and you're going to get this message coming up saying, what would you like to do with this zip file? Do you want to unzip the files and create a folder, or do you want to create a file resource? If you create the file resource, it's just basically going to put it there as a zip file. So the option 1 is a better option. So we're going to click on unzip. So you notice now that the zip file is now there as a folder. When I was moving it over, remember, you would have seen it as a zipped file. So it now comes over as a folder. When we click on that folder, you're now seeing the sample files that I have placed there. If you have more files to add to that folder, you don't have to go and add a new zip file again. All you simply have to do is click on edit, and the files are here, and you can simply drag and drop your new files into here. We can drag and drop there we go. We added another PowerPoint file. If we save changes, we're now seeing the PowerPoint file there. So you can manage the files from within OurVLE, and the file is immediately saved and now accessible to the students. You can double check this by changing your role to that of student, And you do this by going to the administration panel and saying switch my role to student. We're going to go to topic 5. Clicking on folder 2, and remember we saw 3 keyword files before. We're looking for that PowerPoint file. There it is that we just added. So that's how easy and quick it is for you to be able to add files to your different courses and blocks within OurVLE. With time would not permit me to show you the regular method, but if you want to make any adjustments, settings of the file, you can do so. So I'm going back to topic 5. I just turned editing on. You can click on edits and edit settings, or if you need to adjust the, let us say you just need to adjust the name of the file. So you may have had a file called course rules for 2017, but you want to now adjust it to course rules 2018/19. Then all you need to do is click on this icon that looks like a pencil by the name of the file, and it will update just the title itself. So we could say course guide 2018/2019, and you press enter. And that's it. And you could have also gone to edit and edit settings to adjust it and adjust the other settings for the file. We're not going to go into that. What I would like to show you is the assignment. So for the assignment, so you go to add an activity or resource and go and select assignment and then add. So remember, you turn editing on to add an activity or a resource, then select assignment. Then a page should come up saying adding a new assignment to topic X, where X is the number of your block. The assignment name could be anything. You determine what it is. It could be assignment 1, it could be assignment on blood cells, it could be assignment on, you determine how you want to name it. In the interest of time, I'm just going to call this one assignment 1. Within the description, this is where you write the instructions to the student. Right, so whatever it is, you can put the instructions there. Again, you can choose if you want to show the instructions on the course page. I don't always like to choose it because sometimes it overloads the page, but some lecturers like to put it there so that the student has no excuse to say that they did not see the instructions for that moment. You don't need to put it when it's due because OurVLE will tell the student. So you put the instructions, all the instructions, you write and put them clearly there. If you want to copy and paste it, you can copy and paste it from another source. If you have it already in a file, you can already upload. Do you remember we were just showing you how to upload the file? You can upload, you can drag and drop that file, put it on the page, and then say with reference to the previous upload, the previous file, so on, so on, so on. You follow on with the instructions. This part is the important part now, where you're going to set the due date. It says allow submissions from, and it's due X. So we could say that as of tomorrow until the 23rd at 4:30 p.m. and our time here is Army time, right? So if you mean to say 4:30 you have to put in 1630. If you mean 7 a.m., it is just 700. Okay? Cutoff date, this does not have to be used. But if you want to give the students extra time, sometimes there might be penalties, but this is basically saying that, okay, it's really due the 23rd, but the final date for it, after which I will take submissions, is midday of the 25th, right? Submission types, the students can either write or send their responses using the on-screen dialog box, or you can say file submission where you want them to upload a file. I want them to upload a file, so I'll put that file submission. The maximum number of uploaded files, again, 1. You can choose how much files you want them to upload. You can also choose the size of the file that they're uploading. This may not necessarily be applicable for Word files or where they're writing a response, but where they might be submitting an audio recording or a video recording, then in that case, it will become necessary. For some of the nursing courses, I do know that you have asked the students before to do a video of an examination that they're doing, or to do a video of something and submit it. The video, especially when over a certain length, is definitely going to breach the capacity of 50 megabytes. So we have been advising that persons upload a private YouTube video and send that link to the lecturers, and I do believe that that has been working so far. We'll try and get some more feedback, but it is definitely better than the previous route that was being utilized. That was the submission. The feedback type, you can provide feedback to the student, so whether directly from OurVLE, whether you are going to download a file that they submitted, you make your comments on that file and re-upload that file. That can be facilitated as well. Whether you're going to use an offline sheet, right? So you make, again, it's similar to the previous one that I just mentioned, where you have a file and you re-upload it back to the system. This would also help where the student may have done something. It may have been a presentation to the class, it may have been a visit to a lab or something where the student was not really, they were not really required to submit something onto OurVLE. Then you can still select this so that you can now submit a grade for the student for that physical presentation that they did to the class. Require students to click submit button. We definitely encourage that you select yes, and also that they accept the submission statement. When this is done, when we are checking the logs, we can show and identify that the student did click the submit button and that he was able to submit the assignment. At reopened, you can choose what will happen with it. Maximum attempts, you can again choose that, but that only becomes highlighted if you choose any of these two options. You could have had the students working in groups, so you could have one person submitting on behalf of the group, and here is where you dictate how that occurs. So we won't touch that right now. This will be more covered under when we're doing training about groups. You can notify the lecturers when submissions are made. If you have a class of 20 students, not so bad. If you have a class of 1,500 students, then you are going to get a lot of ping, 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 ping on your phone or your computer as these mails and notifications are coming in. So again, the choice is up to you how you would like to adjust those settings. Then the important part, the grade. How is the student going to be graded or assessed? You can determine whether this assignment did not need any grade, whether you're grading them based on a scale, whether you're going to grade them based on a grade. So the assignment could be marked out of 40. You can, again, just use these buttons to see what's happening here. But this assignment is going to be marked out of 40. And we're just going to scroll down and click Save and Display so that you can see how the students would see it. This is how you would see it. If the student were to click on it, here it is. So from the get-go, you see in the instructions on the course main page. When he clicks on it, he's seeing the assignment, but it is not yet time for him to submit anything. So he's not seeing the prompt to submit or upload the file. When grading the students' submissions, you would see the list of students here. Which option would be selected when you want to add the scores given for a number of discussion forums? No, well, if you had set the discussion forum to be graded, that grade should show in the grade book. This is just the assignment. If you want to have use the assignment module to show the grades for the discussion forum, you can do so. But remember that option where it showed you the offline grading sheet, then you would check on that and enter the appropriate grades for the students. So the grades should really push to the grade book if it was properly configured from the forum to the grade book. Right now we're in the assignment module, but with regards to the discussion forum, there would have been a setting that said, how do you want to grade or rate their postings? If you want to use a maximum grade, do you want to use an average rating, right? So that setting would have been set by the lecturer, and then that is a grade that the students would have seen out of the maximum for that particular discussion forum. And then the grade would filter into, or should filter into, the grade book for the entire course. If that was not set up when the discussion forum was being set up, then you can use the assignment module and use the offline grading worksheets section and enter the grades there for the students. So this is an area where you would grade the student submission. You would see the student's name. You would see if they submitted a file and the name of the file. This is where you would click on this little icon that looks like a paper with a green tick, and you would enter the student's grade out of 40. Any feedback comments that you have, if you have any feedback files, then you can upload them here. And if you wish to notify the student, you select yes. You can either save changes, or if you click save and show next, it will carry you to the next student in the grid so that you can continue marking and not have to be coming in and out each time that you're marking the student's submission. And if you scroll across, you get more information about the details for that part for the students in the course with relation to that particular assignment. If you are in a large class and the class was split into groups and you are responsible for a particular group, then you can filter for that group so that you will see only the students in that group, and you can now manage the marks and grades for that particular set of students. But in closing, just sharing with you this flow chart for using OurVLE. Remember, once you need to do any work to turn editing on, go to the block of your choice, select add an activity, Select that item that you wish to create, modify the settings, provide clear instructions. Once you have done, save changes. Remember that you can switch your role to that of a student so that you can see how the item, how the course looks to the students, and if things are clear to them, and if they are seeing the things in the way in which you expect them to be seeing it. Some contact information if you need to get in touch with us, the numbers for us at MITS. More specifically, if you have any OurVLE related issues, you can send an email to OurVLE support at uwimono.edu.jm. The number is right there. The ISS service request really is for persons who have requests that deal with the other sections within ISS, from requesting the use of clickers to requesting particular equipment for the classrooms and their classes. And remember, the live support is now available from the OurVLE main page. We're here to continue to provide support. You can always give us a call, send us a mail, and we'll try and keep you guys up and running so that your courses will be effectively delivered. Thank you again for your patience. It was good sharing with you today. Have a good day.